live. And live stream meeting. Set it up. Participation. Fantastic. All right, I think we are recording live. There we go. Got it. And we are also, oh, let's turn that off so I don't have to hear myself talking at a small delay. Fantastic. Great. All right. Are live, and I am incredibly blue looking compared to all of you. That's fascinating. I love it. Great. Well, welcome everybody. I did put the agenda in the chat here, but let me pull it up for everybody hypothetically as well. Here we go. Just see what's going on this evening. October 14th, 2021. Our lovely little Zoom agenda. We'll be going over just the basic reports from everybody, including committees. And then we had some wonderful people volunteering for some committees too. So we'll be briefly going over that as well. And that's pretty much it. Really a straightforward, no nonsense meeting, but also fun and exhilarating all at the same time. I guess first things first, we need to accept and approve our previous minutes from last week or last month. Are there any objections to them?
No objections. We're using the recording.
Yeah, I love it. Works for me. And I did update the meetings that we do have, the minutes we do have. But yeah, the recording will, until we're off Zoom, I say the recording counts, and Kat is doing a phenomenal job keeping us up to date, hypothetically, in person and on paper too, digital paper.
We're starting now.
Yeah, and I've got a good few meetings behind it. Eventually, when we all get together in person, we'll have a hard copy for anyone who needs it. Some quick upcoming dates coming up. We got October 20th is Professional Growth Day. That's an early release day. November 9th is Picture Retake Day, and November 11th is Veterans Day, no school, which is a Thursday, which happens to also be the next time we're doing a meeting. So of all the times Veterans Day is a day off, it's on a Thursday, which feels weird in a lot of ways, but how exciting. Great, well, let's, I'll get one little quick report in. This last weekend, the entire board of our PTA attended a participation in a training all day long, part of the Oregon PTA program. And it satisfied, we got 4 credits, 1 for each of us. We only need 3 for the year. So we've gotten all 4 of our credits, a little extra bonus work done this weekend. So congrats. We are all trained up, all for you. But let's move over to principal's report. Oh yeah, Meg.
Well, good evening, everyone. I have some slides that won't take very long, but I did want to share our building goals for the year with you. And these are slides that I've adjusted from our most recent teacher workshop, which is what we call, what used to be called staff meetings is now teacher workshop, because it's a time to come together and to think together about something and do some collaboration. And there's work time, just like the students have workshop. We have teacher workshop with a beginning, big chunk of time to work, and then most often a debrief. So if I can, oh, I can, thank you, Eric, share screen. One of the things that I've shared with the PTA group in the past is our work plan, and our work plan is not finalized yet, but our work plan is based on our building goals. And one of the things that we do with our building goals is we create professional goals for all of the certified staff members, where they can opt to have their goals be connected to our building goals. So I'm just going to go through this, and this is what we're working on as a building, and this is what most teachers are working on in their own goals as well. So the Cedaroak mission, which was created by many a few years ago, is that we are an inclusive and equitable learning community. We ensure academic and social emotional success for each and every student, for each student every day with intention and care. And this was created a few years ago with feedback from parents, with feedback from students, and feedback creation from the staff. And the mission is, why are we here? What is our purpose? Our vision is, what are we striving for? What are we aiming for as a professional community and as a school community? Our school welcomes all students with equitable, inclusive, meaningful, and rigorous instruction throughout the school day. Each and every learner in our community is known, valued, and celebrated. Our staff skillfully provide universal design for learning, as well as strength-based supports for all students, so that each is confident and eager to pursue their goals, possibilities, and dreams for themselves and for the world, which I find that to be a pretty inspiring vision. Our professional goals for this year, typically it is 2 student growth goals, and then 1 professional goal is the standard for goal setting. And so our goals this year are around math learning, which is inspired by professional learning community work. Each student having a very strong sense of belonging. We know that belonging leads to learning, and belonging leads to feeling satisfied and feeling successful. And then also, we are doing much of our professional learning around the universal design for learning, which includes elements of addressing issues of equity, anti-racism, and inclusion. So when we set our goals in Westland Wilsonville, there's sort of a unique feature of our goal setting, which is when we set goals, you would think we might say, well, 85% of our students will be at grade level by the end of the year, or 87% or 90% of our students. But in Westland Wilsonville, we always set goals for 100% of our students, because we had a superintendent a while back who would say, well, if you say 80% of your students, or 85 or even 95% of your students are going to meet grade level goals by the end of the year, who are the 5% that you're talking about, who you know right now you don't have any expectation that they're going to meet goals? And so we've taken that on as a school district, that absolutely we have the vision that all students will meet their goals by the end of the school year. And so we always frame our goals as 100% of students. So these are just sort of some snapshots of those, kind of wordy, but I'm going to go ahead and read them anyway. And then the green areas are the growth areas. So for sense of belonging, 100% of our students will participate in interim cell inquiry. Our students' sense of belonging data will increase to 100% favorable outcomes by the end of the school year, and through the process of second step instruction, use of panorama playbook, counseling lessons, and classroom circles. For math, 100% of our students will make a year's worth of growth or more as mathematicians, and will achieve all grade level expectations by the end of the school year as a result of a highly intentional planning of learning experiences. Our school team will work in professional learning community grade level teams to use curriculum mapping, unit planning, and intentional assessment to offer standards-based learning. We will employ learning targets and success criteria to further enhance the students' learning experience and outcomes. And then finally, universal design for learning actually finds its roots in architecture. And the simplest way to think about that is the curb cuts. That wherever you go, there are curb cuts. And originally those were designed for people who were in wheelchairs. And now we know that, yes, people in wheelchairs use them. Also, people on bicycles, people with strollers, people on crutches, people with roller skates, people with carts filled with food that they're bringing to the staff room. There's just multiple ways that those curb cuts serve many more people. And so universal design for learning, if you think about those principles in terms of how students take in information, how they process information, and how they express what they've learned, then you are creating opportunities for more students to have access to learning experiences and to success. So throughout this school year, our school team will use every principal directed early release and a monthly teacher workshop to gain skill and knowledge of the universal design for learning framework. This will allow us to grow student achievement through the use of high leverage instructional and engagement strategies to raise rigor, disrupt systems of racism and generate equitable outcomes for all students while eliminating opportunity and achievement gaps, which just so happens to be the Wesson Wilsonville Board goal number 1. So I've already given a quick description, and then I just want to also share with you how those early release days will be spent. Every other, in general, early release day is principal directed. The others are teacher directed. On the teacher directed days, teachers work in teams to collaborate. We may have various different committees gathering, but it's teacher directed. And then the dates listed below are principal directed. And on those dates below will be digging into the universal design for learning framework and applying that to our classrooms into student outcomes. Also, just as a side note, our teacher workshops, which are every Tuesday, have a pattern to them. In general, one a month is around social emotional learning. One is around equity work, and that's led by our equity leadership team. And then twice a month, we focus on that math professional learning community work and math growth. So I think that is my principal report. Are there any questions about any of it?
Meg?
Yes.
Is there a way you can share those slides?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I will email them to you, Kat.
Awesome. I didn't know. I apologize if they're already up on the website or anything like that.
They're not, they're not. I like to bring things to this group first and see, are there questions? Are there wonderings? If you have any feedback, we'd love to hear it.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks so much.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. All right, we'll move over to our treasurer's report then. Michelle, I'm not sure if there's much to report, but on to you.
Yes, not much to report. I don't know if I can share my screen or not.
You should be able to.
I'm so sorry. This is Nat, and I just realized I wasn't muted and I was making a lot of noise. I apologize. I also apologize because I thought the meeting was at 6. So I'm just winning on all battles right now.
Totally fine.
All right, Nat.
Were you able to share, Michelle?
Yeah, I will share right now. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, can you guys hear me too? Okay.
Yep.
Not much has happened since we created the budget. I went through and as you can see, I've edited here all the classroom support. Those are slowly trickling in. I had Liz sent an email out to the teachers with a Google form for them to fill out to get reimbursed. So I've seen, I think, maybe 2 or 3 come in. I expect probably more as the year goes on, but I haven't written checks yet because we learned that we have to get, if we get one signature on a check, we have to get electronic approval. So Eric, I will be shooting you emails as checks get written for approval. But like I said, very little has been going on. Mostly membership dues collected. We're about a third of the way to our goal of $840 of membership dues collected. Would be great to get more members in and joining our meetings. And then like Eric said, we all attended the PTA board meeting. So we did have that expense this last weekend. It was super informative and I think we're all glad that we went. And the tax returns are filed for the past fiscal year. So we're all good and paid up with that. So I was happy to get that done. Yeah, we're just having little things come in for membership. Not a whole lot with shopping rewards. We might want to send out a reminder, Eric, to people to select Amazon Smile or do their Fred Meyer shopping rewards and select us as their designated donation. But that's all I've got.
Fantastic. And if it's easier, I could always just meet you with a bunch of checks and we can just double sign them, all depending which one's more simple.
I can stop by on my way to school. Be like, just sign these.
There you go. Yeah, we can find our evenings.
Yeah.
This month is pretty busy for me, but
Yeah.
anything's possible. We're gonna go on to committees now. I'll preface this. I'll I guess shelve this a little bit with we sent out an email with a bunch of forms. We've been reminding our lovely community that there are some amazing opportunities to help and join in committees. We've had some good response, not phenomenal responses, but really good response. We got a good chunk of people. It'd be great to have some more. It's always going to be great to have some more. But we do have some people, some of which who are here tonight, who are interested in a few of these different committees. What we'll do is we'll go through the committees tonight, and then I'll talk at the end once we get through all the committees, just real briefly about what we're doing next with other committees and making sure everyone gets contacted with them. But we'll just go in what I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure is alphabetical order with them. We'll do art and environmental literacy. At the moment, I think that's me. And what Megan and I discussed is that as far as being able to be in the classroom, that's not really quite possible at the moment, but creating some content that can either be live via Zoom or pre-recorded with materials that we have delivered to said classroom is a possibility. So at the moment, I've got a few of those lesson plans geared up to go. We'll see if I can put something together and just record it for November to give it that initial oomph starting in November, to at least have some form of either art or environmental literacy in November, and then we can continue onward as well from there. Any queries or questions about that while I'm here?
That sounds awesome, Eric.
Cool. Go on to communications, which is our social media. At the moment, Sharon's still doing a lot. Sharon's doing a lot. I'm on it as well. If we have at least one other person who is potentially interested in taking part of our social media program and taking care of managing that. So not much has happened with it. It's still getting a little bit of notifications, but there really isn't much to talk about that one. Right now, I should also mention that at the moment, the most ideal or most active form of communication with our community happens to be through the connections email that goes out. We do have an email list. It's not a complete email list. We also happen to have Facebook and that sort of thing to get people out there, but we don't know how many people that's connecting with. We don't have we can't guarantee that connects to anybody specifically unless you are necessarily notified or you go to the site to check it. So at the moment, the most consistent way of communicating happens to be through connections. If we want to start doing it via email, I'm fine to do that, but we do have to look at that as an option. I should also mention with communications, one of the other things that is a thing that is something we've done in the past is a school directory. We didn't really do it last year, and the year before we actually were doing it via the internet. We were doing it online. There has been a couple requests to have that return, so we will get on that. The catch on the online version is it requires you or anybody to sign up for it. So we are not automatically signing up the people here at the school. If you want to be a part of it, you have to sign yourself up. So it's a little tricky to make it happen, but we can definitely make a connection opportunity happen, because I know there are some parents and families that are interested in connecting with their fellow families in their classrooms. But we'll work on that to get that up and running, whether that's on our PTA website or whether we use a separate system for that will be another conversation. Any questions about that stuff? Cool. Let's go on to events. I also would love to say I'm super excited that a lot of people have signed up for these committees, so it doesn't rely on these lovely shoulders. But this one also I think is on me at the moment. Meg and I discussed the run, walk, and roll, which we traditionally do at this time of year. We chat about it. We know that a few other schools are doing it this time of year and they're kind of rushing into it, but they are making some things happen. After discussing it and after wanting to have as much people participate and thinking about safety and all the other amazing concerns, we're going to still do it, but we're looking at doing it in the spring. So we will still do a fun run, walk, and roll, but we're going to do it in the spring, which will also potentially allow a lot more people in a much nicer weather environment anyway. So we'll look at that as the future possibility. We also still have some really cool potential events still lined up way down the path. No rush, but also no reason we can't start doing them, such as the readathon and stuff like that. The events committee will get to take a giant chunk of that on. Monster Mash. So the Monster Mash we traditionally do this month. We have discussed the option of doing it digitally, just like we did the virtual dance party last year. Now, here's the catch. I am here currently on site building a set that I am filming for a show pilot, which means it might be a bit tricky on the dates that we have planned for me to run said party. It may still be a possibility. I'm attempting to find out hours and stuff like that. But if I can't run it, somebody will have to if we pick a date. So what I'm saying here to the lovely people here who are at this meeting is that we should probably pick a date as a group, and we have a couple options. And then from there, we need to discuss if I'm unable to run a virtual dance party. If I were to provide you the materials, would you be able to do such a thing? So those are something to keep in the back of your brain. Date-wise, see if I can pull up a calendar while I'm here, a different location. You're all amazing, by the way. I appreciate you all. We were considering either a Friday or a Saturday, more than likely a Friday, and Friday the 29th being that kind of the ideal timeline for that. Maybe not though, and this would be up to you guys, but Friday the 22nd, Friday the 29th are two potential options. I can tell you, it's a little tight scheduling for me. But does anyone have any opinions, thoughts, feelings? We could do potentially a Saturday. It doesn't make it any easier. In fact, sometimes could make it harder. Let's see, Megan Fisher said, if it's too hard to do a virtual dance party, what about a Halloween trick-or-treat drive-through like they do at the community center? Certainly an option. The trunk-or-treat I know is happening in the area. There's the community center, I believe, is still doing their drive-through one. The zoo just announced today they're still going to do theirs. So I know there are events that are happening. So the question would be, if we did that instead, we A, don't want to conflict with at least one that's local, and B, we have to determine how we want to make that happen. That may be something a little trickier to manage. It does mean more supplies and things, but it is certainly a possibility. Discussions, thoughts. Meg's got her finger up.
Yes, I do. I love that idea. And before we go too far down that path, let me check with some safety guidelines, because at one point my understanding was that there would not be any outdoor community gatherings for the time being from the state. So I love that idea, and I should check on it before we go too far with that.
Sounds good. And I will also state I'm doing a lot better at saying no to things, or at least I'm incredibly trying. And so in which case I am saying now that I will not run personally that option, but I do like the option, sir. It does, we're 2 weeks away. If we did the 29th as an example, we're 2 weeks away from that. So that does mean a bit of a rush job. Hypothetically, if we were to do a drive-through event, doing it at the school through the parking lot, if the school district approves it, certainly is a possibility. Other thoughts and feelings? Opinions on dates or times if we did the Monster Mash? I should add, if we did the Monster Mash, if I was running at least, we'll be doing what we did last year for those that were in attendance. It was a Zoom dance party. You joined in. I did my best to highlight a lot of people throughout the evening. We would also probably do a costume parade of sorts. I got to figure out entirely, but it would be something you have to sort of coordinate. Let's see, Megan said, I'd be happy to help coordinate. I think if a lot of families interested in being able to do something for the kids, absolutely. Megan's going to check in tomorrow on that. And Kat's got her hand up.
Yeah, I just had a question. I didn't know if Megan and Blair were talking, interested in the drive, the trick or trunk, whatever you call it, or is that for the dance party?
This would be, from what I think the implication was, instead of the dance party.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be sort of an either or. I mean, it's certainly possible to do both, but not on my shoulders.
Yeah, Okay, drive-through ideally. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, drive-through would be the ideal.
Yeah.
And I think, I can certainly agree that the drive-through aspect gives a little more of a tangible activity in person that's not a digital screen. Wholeheartedly support it.
Yeah, I think we should set a pretty, we'll have to do it very quickly.
Yeah. Here's,
Um,
go
I
ahead.
don't know how quickly we'll hear back, Meg, if
Yeah.
that'll be a
Here's the deal.
bigger issue.
Meg and I will connect on Monday, the 18th. We'll check in on it, which is just next Monday. And we'll see if any guidance from the district. And if there is a go ahead, then I will contact you, Megan, if you're ready. Ready to answer that phone. Oh, no, by the end of the day. Okay, cool. So maybe we'll connect on Friday afternoon. We'll see. We'll just check in. Megan and I will check in and we'll go from there. If the answer is yes, I will get Megan and anyone else who is part of the events committee and we'll make it happen. If we don't, we'll figure out a monster mash digitally. Sound good? Great. And I will pick a time that works. We'll shoot for the 29th and cross my fingers that I'm not in a very unique costume for this one. Sweet. We're going to any other questions on this? Awesome. We'll go over to fundraising, our dine in, order out program. That's going to be one of the big first tasks of our new committee. They'll be hitting that. I want to remind people, since it's come up multiple times since our last meeting, just a reminder, this is not our year for the auction. And I know we didn't do an auction physically last year. This year we will do a pop-up auction in probably about February. We may, depending on what the auction committee wants to do, may get to do it twice. We'll see. But it's a digital online auction only. So we're kind of basically giving like a tiny taster of an auction. It helps us with funds. It's still something active. And then next year will be our year to do a physical auction again. Fingers crossed.
Do we have a date or time frame, like spring?
February is the hope. Mid to end February is the hope for that one. The only catch is we don't like to overwhelm families, and I have to double check when the dates for the other PTA auctions are going to happen. I just don't want them to intercede. There's also usually a catch. Traditionally, when someone like Bolton does their auction, we don't do our auction, and then we, as people, go and work their auction so that everyone there can participate in that fund, and then we swap. I haven't heard from them yet on that, but that will be something we'll have to discuss coming up as well in the semi-near future. Any other questions about fundraising? We've got to remind people about the Amazon Smile and the Fred Meyer shopping rewards. Any other fun aspects? Cool. Let's move on to the garden committee. And technically garden and sustainability are separate, but garden and sustainability have been doing some fun together. So we might as well do them both at the same time.
That sounds great.
You want to take it?
Yes, I appreciate
Awesome.
it, Eric.
Yeah.
So as it said in the agenda, the next weeding party actually is on October 24th. And if anyone does not know, the district has said that they will not spray Roundup as long as we do work parties throughout the year to weed and clear all those weeds so they don't have to spray. So it's really awesome. And we're just asking everyone to bring your own gloves and weeding tools and some water. And it's going to be October 24th. Does it say on there what time? Let me look. Is it 10 to
12.
noon?
Yep.
Yes. So we would love you guys to spread the word and get everyone out there, and we'll just get those weeds down, and that'll be great. And then for the next time we work on our outdoor classroom space, also known as our gardens, will be, I believe, November 14th. Sorry, let me just check. We were talking about that today. Yes, November 14th, I believe. And we're going to work on getting some soil in our kindy area so that the kindergartners can start having some fun up there, and taking care of a bunch of leaves, putting the gardens actually to bed for the winter. So spread the word on that one too.
How, can I ask, with the weeding parties, how often they have to be done, or just sporadically?
We're going to be doing 4 of them during the year. So every other month is what we're kind of planning on. So just to kind of, and we don't have to do everything every time. We just kind of hit sections that the district has walked around with us and said need to be hit. So it'll be kind of a progressive around the school. So that'll be nice. And then as far as the sustainability goes, we're looking into getting some recycling collections again going. And Meg and I are going to talk a little bit more about that. And so hopefully at our next meeting, I can give you guys another report. And we also have, last year, a couple students made some outdoor classroom like kits that are little wagons that the teachers can take their kids outside with a whiteboard and a stool and some little sit-upons. Well, last year, because we had such small classes, we split one of our wagons into 2. So we have 15 pads in each, but now we have a wonderful parent volunteer who's going to work with her daughter's Girl Scout troop and make us some more sit-upons so that we can make those wagons fit our classroom sizes now. So in case they're wanting to be used. And so we got old vinyl billboards from Fred Meyer that we've cut up and use old Amazon, the bubble mailers. And those go inside, and then you wrap it with the old Fred Meyer banners, and those are what the kids can sit on. So those are just a couple things that we're doing right now.
Fantastic. I know there's been a message or two asking about the plastic bag donation program again.
So that's part of the recycling center-ish thing that we're going to be working on getting details on, because, as you guys know, families and parents are not allowed in the building right now. So we're trying to figure out how we can still make that work. And so everyone can feel like they're a part of our, recycling community. And as soon as we have details, we'll let everybody know. So we're excited about it though, because I feel like we lost a lot of that opportunity during COVID, during our lockdown. Lots more excess that we're trying to clean up. Anyway.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Quick question. When's
yeah.
your next garden committee meeting?
We'll probably wait to do it in either late winter, early spring. So we just have 2 a year.
Oh, you just have 2 committee meetings a year?
Yeah. But then, so will we work with like the different individual projects? So if anybody, I'll put something else in the connection too, in case anybody, didn't make it to the first one that really wants to be a part of these projects, that they can let us know, and we'll get in touch with them. And
awesome. That's why
yeah,
I was asking.
a lot of people have also signed up for garden and sustainability. So emails will be going out as well. So
great.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
It will be growing, definitely.
Yay.
And I do want to remind everyone too, last year, because of COVID, because of all this, we conglomerated a lot of committees into, sustainability, instead of back in the day where it was, you had this project, this project, this project. Each project had its own committee. So we're sort of these committees are a little bigger now to encompass all of them, just to make communication easier. But it should help. Let's go on hospitality. Not a lot going on there. We did, on these last parent-teacher conferences, we did help our lovely, amazing staff who were there on exhausting times. At least I believe we did, Meg. Okay, good. Order dinner for them on one of the nights. So hospitality did something. We'll have to put that on the budget list.
I would just like to say thank you, because the teachers had pizzas and salads and desserts and muffins the next morning with some drinks and some tea, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that care during conferences is always just such a gift. So we made it work.
Yay, love it. Membership. We have a membership. I mean, we need more. Tell your friends and family. Sign them up. No, don't sign them up without their knowing. Sign them up and then tell them about it. Holiday season's coming up. They make PTA membership is a gift that just keeps on giving. In lots of ways. But yeah, real answer is we could always use more membership. Lots of ways to get. It's very easy. That's made it a simple QR code that takes you straight to the membership to sign up. It's super, super simple. Oh yeah, go, yeah, definitely. Listen.
Sorry, there was one other thing that I forgot. I wanted to mention to the PTA is that we are going to be going through the tool sheds that we have at Cedaroak that the PTA actually in the past has bought and stocked with these tools that we have. A lot of them are in either need of repair or are not working anymore. So we are looking into, we've worked with Helena, who's at Crest, and she's kind of advised us of what kind of things we should purchase. And so it would be great at some point soon if we could look at the garden budget and see if we can purchase some new tools to help us with these weeding parties and to help us with the, making sure the garden stays maintained so the kids can go out into the classrooms, outdoor classrooms. So I don't know. I know that we're trying really hard to have things like either donated or repaired.
But we do have funds for the garden committee.
Okay.
And we do have that grant that was also given to us that we, now
that's
originally
right.
that grant is kind of the concept of, education in that section, but I believe it also does count for supplies. So.
Right. And then for us to be able, like, once we know what we specifically need, because I know we put in something that we're kind of looking at, but we're not sure if that's exactly, once we get into and see all the tools, do we have to bring it to the PTA for a vote, or do we just?
Since the funds are there, I believe, if I remember correctly, that it just has to be approved by the board itself. We just have to come to a full meeting membership. I believe that's accurate. I'll double check. But more than likely, I'm pretty sure if you just said, hey, we need these tools, and we go, great, it's in the budget. Just know that that's your budget.
Well, and it's nice too, because Helena said from Crest that she could also bring tools that we could borrow for certain events. So we're looking at trying all these options, not to spend too much money. So.
And I will say for those that are unaware, Crest is a magnificent program that is part of our school district. That being said, we are really the only school in our district that has some pretty heavy funding and support in the garden committee. And by us having that support financially and from us as a membership, it allows Crest as an organization to hit all the other schools without having to feel the pressures. We're taking the pressure off of Crest. We're taking the pressure off our district in that sense. So that I'm all about us borrowing tools. I'm also all about us having our own to make sure we don't have to take from the other fantastic schools.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Let's go over to Spiritware.
Oh, just a quick.
Sure.
I just, Alicia, I just talked to Emily today about what she can submit to us regarding the tools. So I know that she has that information and can get me whatever's requested once it comes to that point.
Great. Yeah, I think she sent it to Eric and I earlier, but we want to be able to also go through once we can get into the sheds and take a look and see what we can weed out. No pun intended.
Pun intended.
Or pun intended. Yes. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. It is one of our, a fantastic program that if we are able to get that garden going up again, it's always great to have something that we can take into the classroom that the students help make. It's always an extra bonus. Spiritware, Elizabeth's not here. I don't know if we've got anyone else on Spiritware right now. The basic answer is we have a nice little limited supplier left over. We would like to replenish. I was under the impression we were going to find out about our PTA website program, and I know I learned absolutely nothing about it on our workshop this last weekend. So I put in an email asking about it because there is supposedly a PTA service system that is going to handle the whole thing. If that system doesn't exist, we'll just handle Spiritware on our end. But for those that are unaware, hypothetically, we were supposed to have a system in place that was supposed to be able to handle our Spiritware and manage it more successfully for us. But at the moment, we're at a limited supply. We definitely want to bring them back out, and we want to get people in those fun Spiritware outfits from head to toe, because Cedaroak socks could be fun this year. Sustainability, we just covered. Yearbook, Amanda's not here for that. But 2020 and 2021 yearbooks have been sent home. People should have had them or gotten them. I believe we will be able to, we should have a couple extras that people should be able to order if necessary. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check with Amanda on that. And you should have, people should have also gotten it in paper form, but also potentially an email that announces that our yearbooks are now available to order. And I know that last meeting we were told they were going to be part of the order your pictures and yearbook at the same time. Just didn't happen, but they are available to order online. Just a reminder, yearbooks help. Believe it or not, they actually help us financially. They're also great and fun to have. That being said, I'm putting this out there. The yearbook committee gets to handle this, but a reminder that we do need to start finding ways to get photos. We may have to do what we did last year, which is ask. We want to ask our parents at home to find ways to take photos, and we've got themes and all that stuff that can help that aspect. But it will help us this year since we cannot be in the classroom, finding ways to engage that. And it may be that Meg and I can chat about this, about maybe having one of the amazing staff, on a mission every once in a while that we can maybe help give us a little more stock inside the school. Good question. Can teachers and paraeducators take photos? The answer is a little bit tricky on that one. Photos are always tricky when it comes to students for lots of reasons. So the short answer is kind of. The long answer is it's a longer answer to discuss. Yeah. But one that is incredibly easy to discuss and one that we can find a way to manage. And like I said, there's lots of ways we can find cool, get images, out the school grounds or something like that. And if we give that to the families to put on their shoulders. Kat, you had a question? Your hands up.
Quick, you might be getting there at the end of the list, but yeah. I guess one of the things I'm wondering, and I'm on the PTA board, so sorry, is like, how do we get in contact? If I know I filled out, and I can't even remember what committees I said I'm interested in, but how are we going to facilitate? There's just a small number of us on this call, and that shouldn't all be on you, but
right.
Amanda's for yearbook, Amanda's not here. How do parents get involved? I really think that's a question I know I've heard from other parents who are kind of like a little in the dark on how that works. So
right. Fantastic question. And the short answer is this. Since last year, especially, honestly, actually a little bit before COVID, just because things happened. I guess really the year before. There's a point that I hit pretty quickly that I feel like I actually took this on myself. Though I had a lovely amount of support, just because of the way we were transitioning a lot. Things were a little awkward last year, especially. So it definitely felt like there wasn't a lot of people and a lot of easy access to have people help. This year, we're still in this weird little limbo position where we're still here virtually, right? We can't technically meet in person, though I will tell you all, the board got together recently. We did discuss some potential options about how we could actually do these in person, even with the potential of still broadcasting so that those who can attend would have the ability to participate. But we are looking at an option to do this in person. So that may or may not help people. In person could also mean that we could actually do it at a later hour. We're doing it this hour because we thought it was most ideal virtually, not to affect other things like bedtimes and so on. That being said, the easiest way to participate right now is through that Google form. What's going to happen after this meeting, not instantly because I have work to do, but within the next week, really in the next couple of days, an email will go out to every single person based on their committee. So for example, if you or 3 other people signed up for the yearbook committee, I will be sending an email out saying you signed up for this. Here are the sort of tasks we have for the year. Here is currently our main contact person. The advantage here is that as a committee, you then have the ability to communicate with each other. So for example, if Amanda was unable to join, maybe someone else in that committee who had been participating would be able to report for us. That is the hope and dream that I have. I also know that this is a little tricky too, and I know that it may or may not happen in that sense, but the hope is there. And I think with the amount of people that have signed up just now, I think we have a nice handful per committee to at least start this process. And I really hope that through that also, we get this little snowballing effect. We've already, just literally before school started, I was getting bombarded by emails and messages showing that people are really excited to be back and getting to be a part of it. So the tricky part is making it happen, but I think it's slowly starting to get there. The real answer, either an email directly if you've heard nothing and want to be a part of something specific or not, or that Google form, and I'll just keep tying people into groups, make it nice and easy. So if you, for instance, Kat, signed up for 5 groups, you're going to get 5 different emails. if that helps.
Yeah, I think it might be good for us to encourage the different committees too we've driven a lot to Facebook, and we can put it where appropriate in the, I'm going to get the title wrong, the link that goes out to parents, just so there's multiple points of contact. You know, what do you have to say it 3 times before it sinks in? That's true, at least with me.
There's a little bit of trickiness in communication, whether we put my preference is that communication is all at least in one location, right? Yeah. I would rather, if it's at Facebook, that's the choice it is for that whole group. As I mentioned previously, we were supposed to have a PTA website that was them run a portal system that was supposed to be designed for this exact thing. Again,
it ain't coming.
Personally. I'm a little worried it may not have existed anymore, but it's very similar to like Discord or not Snapchat. What's that one? With begins with letter S. People use it. It's on my computer.
Slack.
Slack. Thank you, Nat. Yeah, so very similar to Slack in that sense, with there's groupings for it. If you know what, and that there it is right there, Kat. If we can't find one, I will create a complete Slack channel for the PTA, which will have each committee set up in its own division for communication purposes. Yes.
I don't know if we want to go to that extreme. Like, honestly, there's already enough, Eric. don't promise, man.
Slack's really easy. Slack allows it so that the key here is that, for example, if Alyssa wanted to talk about garden or sustainability, she'd go to the sustainability group, and that's where she'd type it. And that's where all the communication for that would be, and where it would live and exist. Benefit there is that you can kind of bounce around easier. You don't have to search emails. Disadvantage, it's a little funky sometimes. Yes. Yeah, Alicia.
So is it possible for you also to send me and all the emails of people who signed up so that I can reach out to them?
Yes, you will also be included in that email.
Because it won't just be saying I signed up, you'll give me
no, I mean, yes. So what will happen, for example, I'm going to example here that Meg, Nat, and you all signed up for garden committee. I will send an email to all 3 of you in a group email that says, congratulations, you're the garden committee. You guys talk amongst yourselves. But here are the things that we need to discuss. You, Alicia, happens to be the current contact, or Megan Big John will be for garden. She's our current contact for that, and she would be in that email address as well. So yes. I hope that helps. Now, that being said, that is technically all the committees I had in alphabetical order, but are there other groups or activities I didn't mention?
Eric, I don't know if this is the appropriate time to talk about it or not, but I know that Tara Perkins had some library information, and I scanned the agenda, and I wasn't sure where we were going to talk about it.
Well, see, she sent me this email, and this would be that time I figured that she might discuss such a thing.
Oh,
that's why.
So people are talking already.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay. I could do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If y'all are ready for me, I was waiting. Maybe there was a new business or something else. But
no, yeah. I say that's a committee.
Oh, excellent.
I know. Go for it.
Well, thank you and good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, who are new to our school or kindergarten parents, I'm Tara Perkins. I'm the school's teacher librarian, and I also run our WKOA online program. So I'm reaching out to the PTA because you have all been so supportive in the past, and I have a need again. Last year with the pandemic, our library funds were largely diverted to help cover that, which is completely and totally understandable. We were able to purchase a few things throughout the year, but what we weren't able to do, and is in high demand, are all those high interest popular titles. So things like the newest dog van, we don't have it. Sweet Chi, #1, who knows where that went? We don't have it. These are all super highly requested books. And I'm reaching out to see if the PTA could support the library in purchasing some of these titles. I have quite the list going with Amazon. I could easily spend $1,000 like that, but I don't want to stress the PTA. I know that there are other things that you are supporting. And so I am just asking for what is reasonable. I don't know if you guys have heard about them, but there's these science comics. We have a handful of them, but the kids are loving them. They are non-fiction about everything like polar bears or flying machines, the Wright brothers, science, history. The kids are loving them. I can't keep them on the shelves, and we only have a handful of them. The kids just don't get that, or what about permaids? I mean, who even knew such a thing called permaids exist? But they want them, and we only have like 3. So my request is, what can you do? Would you be able to support the library so we can get more books, K-5, into the kids' hands, the ones that they really, truly want?
Yeah, there are definitely funds. We do
Yay.
have I believe library is a line item on our funds. Michelle, do you have that, know what that number is? Offhand?
I do. It's 250, but I feel like, as we've talked about, this budget is kind of fluid. There's things that's not going to happen. So I think if we go through and evaluate, there's probably things that we're not going to do this year that we could maybe move money around.
Absolutely. I can also state that a few of our a few options is that we have a few fundraising things that could be specifically set to that. We traditionally decided not to set most of our fundraising to a specific item just because we'd rather have it open and have the flexibility with it, but certainly a possibility. As Megan just messaged, could you share an Amazon list and maybe parents are willing to purchase it, very wedding registry style, as a possibility.
I have a public link. In fact, in the email, both to you, Eric, and to Nat, it's my public link.
And is that link, for example, if I link to that and I purchase a book, can Nat purchase the same book and you have 2 of the same, or is it one of those things where you've got
happen. I mean, it is Amazon, so I don't quite know how they do it. I might have to adjust it and set it up differently.
Yeah, maybe
it's just a public link.
If you get an opportunity, maybe before we share that, see if maybe we can do it like a registry. That way we actually only fit the needs that we actually have. That way you don't end up with 35 permaids books and none of the other ones. Though my daughter loves them, so I know about them. Exactly. But I think that's Megan, I think that's a really great way that we can go to our community for such an event. I also know that we do have the funds, and I know we have the ability to potentially change that. So I think the best opportunity here is get that list together. Let's look at seeing if we can make it a registry and open it to the public. And then also if you can maybe look at what the actual number may be, and we can definitely take a vote to get you those funds.
Yeah, my problem with finding out the actual number is that I'm in as our school's Amazon Prime business, which then sometimes has different prices from other. So I wasn't really sure. I do know approximately what it is for just that list. And it's like 240 some odd titles altogether. I mean, because seriously, like we need novels, we need nonfiction, we need early readers, and we're looking for more culturally diverse early readers. And I mean, you name it, we have a need for it. Yeah. And so I can give you a ballpark, but with Amazon, they're so wonky. I mean, they change, like prices change daily. So I can't be exact.
That's fine. Yeah. A ballpark's always a good number. Especially because, can we approve 1,000? Can we move that up to $1,000? Probably. Is that 100% doable? No. But so finding the ideal number would be great. And then, technically we as a membership would then have to vote on it, which we can very easily do next month or the next meeting. Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you. I'll get that.
So what we'll do, give me some of that info, and worst case, not even worst case, just we can totally also send that to our lovely community who knows what will happen from that too.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Oh, yay.
Yeah, awesome. Updating books is always a great thing, and it's hard to keep up. Cool. Any other new content things to cover? Chit chat, figure out, discuss, comment, opinions, feelings? Awesome. Our next meeting then, we've got set for Veterans Day, November 11th. It's a Thursday. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, it's at 5:30. Same exact Zoom link that you used for this is the same Zoom link the entire month. Reminder, if you did join, you didn't get an opportunity, please put your name and if you're a PTA member in the chat, that'll help us out. From there, I don't think we've got anything else. Sharing like the school family is a great idea. Yeah, fantastic. Lovely, Nat. I agree. So yeah, we'll look at the 11th. We as a board will also meet a little bit before that, at least once before that to chat about this stuff, maybe even twice. There's a small chance that we have an opportunity to do our next meeting in person. If that is the case, we'll definitely let everybody know. But until then, we'll still stick with Zoom, fortunately, as much as we'd love to. Hey. Oh, it's more than just Megan there. It's a whole, which one of you has been typing and volunteering Megan for things? Yeah, so we'll do that on the November 11th and other things. If you happen to have anybody, again, who's interested in being a part of a committee, I'll wait a couple more days before sending an email out for my sanity because I'm exhausted. But if you know anybody, please share that link. And in fact, for the sake of it, I'll put it in the chat here in just a minute. Yeah. Any other final business? Going once. Going twice. All right, we are officially finished up then at 6:33 p.m. Hey,